Today was probably one of the most frustrating days of trading I've experienced. Um, Sometimes trading can just feel like a sick little game that's just out to get you, but that's not the case. You can't think like that. But it's kind of hard to sometimes to not think that way. Also, the first losing day on my Express account, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll go over today. I mean, today is a day to I would say to forget, but we actually learned a lot. We got a lot better today. But today was annoying. The loss that we took on the Express was chill, $2.22. So we didn't lose anything crazy. I think I took three trades. We should have only taken one, if not two at worst. I'll kind of go over that. Definitely didn't do the best I should have there on that. And we'll kind of pull up the I'll pull up the video, or actually first, the main point of this video is this is exactly why I just have been so bad at trading and holding my trades and doing the right thing because it's the right thing, and holding my trades and not going to break even early and not taking profit early. Today was just a perfect example, slapping me in the face of this is why I do it. This is why I struggle. This is why I do the wrong thing, because my target today on my trade was this high right here. I even moved my target at one point like 1 or 2 points lower just to make sure we didn't make an equal high or something. And we got this, right? We got within, I got in the trade around here, held through all of this, didn't go break even early, didn't trail my stop early, didn't do nothing like that. And we just got so close, and we just get a ridiculous dump seemingly out of nowhere. And that just, everything through my head was just like, when it was right here, just take a profit, just slide the thing down, just secure one of them on your runners, and just, let it happen, right? Who cares about the extra $20 to $10 that we might miss out on because we took profits a little early? And just let it happen, right? Just do it, right? Just take profit. You won't regret it. But then I told myself, right, I always do that. I always get out of my trade a little bit early, or I always go break even a little bit early, or I always, do something out of emotion, out of whatever. And I was like, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of doing this BS every single time, and just kind of doing the wrong thing. So I'm going to not do that this time, and see what happens. And we unfortunately just did not get rewarded for it whatsoever. We kind of got punished for it, which is, just unfortunate. But, yeah, so before we go over the trade, my original bias was these equal highs that go higher. I think that in the higher time frame, like I talked about before, is that we're bullish towards at least these highs right here. We're just in a big market maker buy model on the higher time frame. But on the 15-minute, we did have a major SMT. Right here, we had a big SMT come into the day. We had an SMT with these highs right off open, or maybe before open, I can't remember, but we took out this high here, and then we actually looked pretty bearish. We were bullish gearing to these highs, but that was early in the day. And the first trade I liked that I didn't take was this SMT right here, and we got an inversion right here. I actually took this on Combine, got stopped at break even. I didn't have crazy conviction in it, so I went break even at this low. Obviously, we changed state of delivery right here. We close below it. We trade back into this inversion, hold the inversion, never tap this high, and then sell off, which provides this 5-minute entry right here, this 5-minute high. This 5-minute gap right here gets traded into. So this was a nice little soup right there, and then we traded to this low, and eventually all of these lows here. So really, the early morning session was very, very much a sell day. It was very much short bias, and I recognized that, but I wasn't recognizing it early enough to get involved, so I let things play out. And I wanted to see us, the plan stayed the same, come down, take these lows, and go long, right? I wanted to go long. I wanted to see us go higher. So we end up getting an SMT between these lows right here, and between these lows right here. So ES did not come down and grab that low. So we had two SMTs, an SMT in a smaller time frame, and we inversed this 1 minute gap, but it closed so much higher above that I wanted to see this 30-second gap, which I'll drop down to right here, because we had this low resistance liquidity that I wanted to see us get ran. This was a nice break-even point, and we got in around, we could get in around here. And we got in around here, and I'll pull up the execution and just kind of go over from there what all happened on this trade. Let me pull that up right now. But again, man, this is almost exactly why I just sell my stuff all the time. It's almost getting crazy at this point. Just want to keep an eye on this right here. But let's pull up this video again. All right, so we're waiting, and I committed that I'm taking this on the Express account because I like the trade. I get in a half second early here before it closed. Not exactly sure why. Maybe I thought that that one closed above, but it didn't really change much. Didn't really change the entry point, I don't believe. Yeah, didn't even change the entry point. If anything, gave us a slightly, actually, let's see. If anything, yeah, gave us a slightly better entry. So I cannot complain there. Let's make this a little bigger. And then I didn't really know what my exact target was going to be for the Express, but I jumped in on the Combine as well. And we just let the thing play out. This was a very nice hold right away on that fair value gap. So I ended up going break even really quickly on the first, on this first trade. This was my first mistake. I went break even because we made equal highs and we held this 1 minute. I was like, cool, we're just going to start ripping. And I didn't, and to be honest, it's more of just I don't want to have to potentially lose on my Express account. I don't want to even have the chance to lose. So if we take a look at where our first stop loss placement was before this break even, we had it right at the bottom of this 1 minute fair value gap. It's very important because that's where it should have stayed, right? Maybe it could have gone even lower, but it didn't, right? We were risking $30 and we went break even and we get stopped out. So we get stopped out and we're kind of like, okay, cool. I knew I didn't really want to get stopped out, and I instantly get back in because I'm dumb, right? I get stopped out. It still looks all right. It's just I should never been stopped out in the first place at break even, because I should not have gone to break even. And then when you start seeing it play out, you start thinking, oh, well, I'll just get in here, and then if it goes to this point here, I can just get break even again and just call it a day. Just really bad decision. And the rebalance happens because we haven't rebalanced price. We've just gone straight up, and I know this, but it's, again, when you're trading, you stop remembering all the right things and you start doing all the wrong things because you're focused on money, right? And that's something I'm getting better at. I'm improving at, but it's still a mistake I made today. Should not re-entered, but stuck to the stop loss and made the stop loss a little tighter. I move it down, but then I'm like, $40. Let's just see. And then I wanted to see this become a turtle soup. Obviously, it doesn't become one. And I can't remember exactly how this one takes place here. I end up just closing it, right? My stop's in place, and I close the trade. Why do I close the trade? Well, in my head, I'm thinking, well, there's no chance that my stop loss is good. There's no chance that it reverses from here. It's just going to definitely come and get me. Let me just save myself a little bit of the loss. And that's just something you can't do. That's just something you cannot do because you have a stop loss for a reason. I have it here because of this gap, right? It doesn't mean that that gap's always going to work. It doesn't mean the gap's magic. It doesn't mean that I'm never going to lose if I use my stop loss this way. But, ooh, we might get a nice setup here. We might get a, oh my gosh, this is juicy. If we inverse this is literally dreams right here. I will be slapping this. But continuing on what we were talking about, I literally told myself, I'm like, hey, right? It's definitely going to come get you. And let's see if it did. I think it actually might have. Maybe not on the micros because I don't remember. So our stop loss definitely should not have been right here. It would not have got us technically on the NQ chart. In the micro, I don't even think it got close, if we're being honest. Yeah, it didn't even really get too close. I mean, it did get close, but it didn't get like a tick away, like maybe spread would have got me. But at the end of the day, I mean, my stop loss should have been a close below this gap, or really just my stop was here. I really could have just afforded to leave it at the low, but that's just kind of big risk reward, especially my second entry was so much worse. yeah, I mean, maybe we could have done a lot of things differently. Maybe this could have been my entry here in the 1 minute gap, my stop below here, 12 points, never would have got close. That just didn't happen. But man, I don't want this trade, this trigger, and I'm just watching this. But it's fine if it does, right? It's fine if it does. Do we have an SMT still? We do have an SMT still. Oh, this is so nice. This is so nice. Okay, I might just live trade this with you guys. 2 minute. We'll keep this NQ chart up. Let's see how big this stop would be. 18 points. Yeah, I'll keep this up. We're going to just make this trade so we can still see this one right here, and I'll just watch this while I talk you guys through this. So we are still liking the trade, right? I still like the trade. It was just a normal rebalance. I made a mistake. The chart didn't take me out. It wasn't a bad trade. None of that. I just bad stop loss placement, bad emotions. So I was like, okay, cool. What should I do? I'm already on the combine, by the way. I entered on the 32nd, way more aggressive than I wanted to be on the express. But this is by far one of the best things I've ever done trading. In terms of just not what I did to get here, but in terms of how I held this position on the express account. I commit to my stop loss. I look where I put my take profit. I commit to my stop loss, and I say, look, I'm not going to go break even until that high gets hit. And then even then, I was like, maybe I don't go break even because maybe I want to see us run to the 15-minute first. And I stayed so disciplined on this. I'm super happy with how I managed this, and I'll kind of just speed through it. We make a high here, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of annoying. And then we rebound to the 1 minute. I'm thinking, oh, we're probably going to get stopped out again. But I told myself one thing mentally, which was I've heard Justin say, I've heard a lot of traders say it. When you get into a trade, I don't know exactly how they say it, but when you get into a trade, just accept the fact that that's already gone. And I was looking at my 34 that I lost, that I shouldn't have lost, and I was looking at the 20 I'm risking, and maybe it was a tight stop loss, maybe it was a perfect stop loss. But in my head, I was saying, look, worst case today we just didn't execute very well today. We can get away with $50 loss, and I'm just going to be done for the day. I wasn't going to try and make another trade. Who knows? Maybe I would have taken another setup. Maybe I would have liked something else. Maybe I would have FOMO'd, maybe whatever. But I was trying to tell myself and bring myself calm while in the trade, because that's the most important thing, is just calm myself down during the trade and say, look, whatever happens, that's fine. It's just $20. It's just 50 on the day. We can make that back easily next week. And I was like, cool. I don't want to just go break even early because, yes, I don't want to lose more, but I also don't want to go break even early and then lose on the day. I don't want to lose $34 because I stopped at break even because I moved it there after 5 points. So I said, I'm really determined on this trade, and I think this is one of the best holds I've had in a long, long time, especially on an express account. I've never held a trade like this. So we're just getting better, man. I think I'm starting to finally understand what I have to do, and it hasn't been perfect. It hasn't, whatever. But I'm starting to understand what I have to do, and I'm starting to understand, that I can't just be so afraid. And right here in the past, I was like, let me just go break even now. But then I'm looking at the chart objectively. I'm saying, why would I go break even right now? It's barely moved in my direction. It's, it could easily come back down to the break even, stop me. And that's the last thing I want to do, which was to get stopped out on my third trade. Want to re-enter, but can't because I've done 3 trades, just kind of getting chopped up. And look, I would have been stopped out for break even right there. And I'm like, okay, cool. I don't really want to lose $16 here. Trailed my stop a little bit. But I was like, the reality is this order block could hold. And it could keep going. And I don't want to get stopped at break even. So we changed our mind on our break even point. We don't end up going to break even at the high. I don't really know why I moved it there. And I watched it play out, and I'm very happy for that because even though it might not look like much, even though I'm only risking $16 at this point, even though it's 1 micro, right? All these different things. This is progress. This is how I'm going to get better at trading. At this point, I do move my stop on the combine to break even because I got in lower. The break even point was where my stop loss pretty much is right now, so I was fine with that. And then I just let the trade play out, and I didn't want to go break even early because look, if we did go break even at this high right here, we would have been stopped at break even just because we got a really bad fill. If I got filled down here, if I entered off this, then by all means I would be at break even. But I had a worse fill, so I have to let the trade breathe. And that's the biggest thing I struggle with, which is letting my trades breathe. And that's why with the 2 mistakes we made earlier, I'm super, super happy with myself because I do think I got a lot better today. We haven't even got to the part that really was frustrating. But let's just skip through here. And this was like pulling teeth. It really was. I mean, I felt like I was just getting more and more gray. I was getting some gray hairs coming in because this was just like pulling teeth. This was frustrating. This was slow. This was a grind. And I was like, man, why can't this trade just rip up? Why can't it just run? Why can't it just go? Just like that dump that we saw that was 50 points. Why couldn't I get that in my direction, right? And that's kind of what my head was at, just negativity, which is just never good. I trailed my stop a little bit to this gap. Still don't go break even because it could easily come back down. And I see this 5-minute gap. It's kind of hard to see on the video, but I want to make sure I can still see this right here. But we had a little 5-minute gap where my stop was right at the bottom of it. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty fair. I'm only risking about $10 more. Cool with that. And then we just keep going, and we don't hit this break-even point yet. So I didn't let go of this. I'm just holding it. Not sure what I'm doing right now. I think I pick plaque off my tooth whenever, or try to. Like right there, whenever I'm just, instead of biting my nails. And I'm just sitting here, just drawing in random stuff that doesn't matter. Order blocks, this, that, the other. It doesn't matter. The market's going to do what it wants. But I was like trying to get something to go for me and trying to just ease my mind that we were going to bounce off some magical line that I put on my screen. And that doesn't really matter, but it's just something to give yourself to do while you're watching trade. I'll leave my stop, and this is important. I left my stop, even though we were taking forever. We got in around here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And look, we're starting the dump, right? After 11 minutes, and I start getting like, oh, maybe I need to protect myself. I move it to break even here. And I can't remember. Do I move it back down? I don't remember. Then I guess I move it back down. And I just decide, I'm going to leave my stop in place. I'm going to wait for this trade to play out. I've waited this long. And then when this candle started to close, then I really start considering going to break even. I'm happy with this. I'm still not at break even, right? This is the discipline that I've never had before. Even seeing this candle come in, I'm super happy I didn't just close the trade or go break even. Because look, we're only up $5, which again, it's not about the money amount, but we're only up 2 points now. After all that work, all this struggle, it's come down, and I'm stressing here. I'm like, I'm about to lose again, but I was like, okay, it's $12. I'm going to be down $40, $50 on the day. It's no big deal. Let's just let the trade play out. There's no point in going break even here and then it reversing, and then this wick comes in. And then I'm like, great, this is exactly why. This candle here is exactly why you don't FOMO. This candle was made for people that are in longs to FOMO. It's made for people to get afraid and to close their position so that they don't win. And all this mess right here, all this time just spent just chopping around, and we finally start the move. And then we finally get up, and let's see what happens here. And then I go break even here when this candle starts printing because we hit break even. I put my stop at this low, and I'm like, cool. And now I'm like, this is where I'm going to target pretty much. And at this point, I start getting pretty antsy, and I end up closing the trade. I end up closing the trade here and locking my account. That definitely has stuff to do with just the fact that I was down. Also, with what happens later, I have that in the back of my mind. Obviously, I don't know the future, but I know that this type of thing that's about to happen in the future, in the video I'm about to show you guys, I know that this happened before, and I didn't want that to happen on this count. So I ended up just closing the trade right around how much I lost on the previous one. But again, even though I closed the trade a little bit early, I'm very happy with how I held the trade. The volatility wasn't there, so the points weren't big, but the hold was nice, right? We held through a little bit of drawdown after making bad decisions here, having the re-enter. We lock our account right away, even though we're down $2. We don't just go in and try and make a few bucks so we can be break even on the day. And I get in the trade, and I continue on this account, and I'm just holding well. And I'll pull up the last little bit of that trade. But before we move on to that trade on the combine, I just want to kind of mention, I did really well here. I did really, really well here. We shouldn't have messed up this entry. We should have just been fine here and held one trade and probably got break even, not getting to take profit, or maybe trailing this thing. But that wasn't the case, right? And that's fine. But even the re-entry that we shouldn't have to do, I'm really happy with how I held this, right? Doesn't look like much. It's not the craziest drawdown ever. But after yesterday and today, I'm getting better at holding drawdown. And we end up coming up. I don't go break even right away, which would have took me out here. We hold through all of this. We get a scary little wick come in and make me feel like, oh, it's not going to work. And then we run up, and I do close the trade here. Right, I definitely could have done better there. But I'm still very happy with this performance. Happy with how I traded this. And happy with how I traded the combine. I'll kind of pull that video up and go over that. But on this combine, we did our job too. We did exactly what we were supposed to do. I'll let you guys see my face here. Man, my hair is starting to thin in the corners a little bit. And I'm just, drawing out all the stuff that I like to draw out, and just letting my trade play out, because I started recording because, like, man, this is actually going to be a good trade. This is going to be one of my best holds. Like, I took some profits because we had some micros, but we took some at the 15-minute gap, which is cool. And it basically just covered the first loss. We took the same loss we did on the Express on the Combine. And I was like, cool, man. Like, I'm going to just let this thing play out. I'm just let this thing ride out. And I want to hit a great trade. Again, it's not like a monster position. It's only 100 something bucks. But in terms of just how long it took, in terms of just holding through just chop, right? Just letting the fluctuations in price happen, letting the price breathe, not suffocating with my stop loss. And I just let those things happen, and it was nice, man. It was nice to do for once. And I really thought that I was going to get rewarded, and I thought I was going to be able to hit my take profit. If you see my take profit right there, I was like, cool, this is great. Right here, I was really just telling myself, like, this is great. I'm going to hit take profit. And right here, I mean, this just looks perfect. And when you see this, and you're less than a point, 1.5 points away from your take profit, which, again, isn't going to change my life. It's not going to make me a millionaire, but it's just nice to see things, what do they say? It's nice to see it go through the net or something. It's just nice to see some shots get made, right? And this has been great. It's been a great hold. It's been a long trade. Again, all the things I've been talking about that I'm happy with how I managed it. And again, I'm still happy with that I took a break even on this trade, right? I'm still happy with how I held this. But you just thought it was going to be something special, a nice trade, something great, right? Just end the week. And then this happens. Just a crazy sell-off, right? At this point, I'm like, okay, maybe it can still recover, but it just keeps going. It just keeps going. And within minutes, we get break-even stop. I move my stop down to break-even instead of banking in anything, and we just get a flush all the way back down. And you just look at me, I'm just like, what the heck just happened? Like, what happened there? What could I have done differently? And I couldn't really do anything differently. I think I did exactly what I was supposed to. Maybe we could have taken profits at the body high, but that's just cherry picked. And it was frustrating. I just spent a little bit of time just staring at the chart, and I'm like, you know what? Like, at the end of the day, there's nothing really I can do about it. And I was frustrated, but not as frustrated as I would be if it was an Express account. But I was just like, yo, like, what can you do, right? What can you do? And the answer was nothing. The answer was just be upset, be disappointed, and move on, right? That's all I could do. So definitely disappointed with that. Definitely, and again, that's why I say this is why I'm just struggle with trading, because let's say in the future I get a similar trade, and this is my take profits this high, and we're just right, or if my take profit's this high again and we're right here, I could just, let me just drag my stop or my take profit down to here, and then we get filled around here, and guess what? We miss out on, 6 points, which isn't the end of the world. But if you do that all the time, you're antsy to do this. If you're quick to go break even, right? When I got into this trade here, if this was my first break even point on the 32nd, on the first entry, this was my break even point, right? If we go to break even because, we got close here, I'm just going to break even, that's how we stop to break even. So close doesn't cut it in trading. You have to just be disciplined. You have to just do the right thing because it's the right thing, and that's hard to do. So this is a perfect example of why I just am trash at trading current sometimes, and what I need to do better at, because I just have to be okay with this. I have to get better at accepting this and just accepting risk, accepting the trade, and letting it play out and become a real trader. So I think, regardless of the frustrations, regardless how annoying that is, I think today was one of my better days in a long time. Even though I made a lot of mistakes, I can learn from them. But I'm on the path. I'm in the right direction. This is what I'm supposed to do to get better at trading. This is how you trade. You just do the right thing, right? I always talk about that. Just do the right thing. Just do the right thing. Just do the right thing. That's how you trade. That's how you get better at trading. And that's what I did today. I did the right thing because I knew I have to get better at trading. I know I have to just execute better because I'm tired of sitting here every day and saying, I wish I held this. I wish I didn't do this. And today, there's some stuff I wish I didn't do, but I fixed other things, or I got better at other things, or I really tried to consciously get better at other things. So I'm very, very happy with that today, even though it is just so annoying to come away with, nothing today. But again, Friday, end of the week, right? We'll be back next week. Next week should be better. This week was brutal, short week. Next week's going to be better. I promise that. And that's where we're at. If I do take a setup, if I do take something here, I'll record it and I'm going to post it on Twitter. So make sure, follow me on Twitter, man. Follow me on Twitter, Diego B Trades. That's where you guys will get an update if I take this trade. If I don't post anything, I didn't take it. But I'll post the execution video if I do take something and if it works out well. So, or I mean, if it loses, I'll just post something about it losing. If it loses, I'll post the execution regardless, as long as it's like a decent trade. So I'm not gonna just wait and see if it happens on this video because it's already been long enough. But that is the day, man. That was the day. Super, super happy with the progress. I don't think I could have done this in the past. I think this is improvement, right? And as long as I'm getting better, I'm doing the right thing. So we're always going to be able to do better. We made some mistakes today, but I think we recovered well. I think we got better. I can't say more than that. So I appreciate all you guys for watching the videos, so much support. Love all you guys, and I will see you guys next week. Maybe I'll make a video this week, probably weekend, probably not. Some good NFL games on Sunday. Hope you guys do something fun, man, and I'll see you guys next week. It should be better. Peace.